Charleston, South Carolina, teaching the rest of the country a lesson on how to reopen schools, partnering with board-certified infectious disease pediatricians to get kids back in the classroom safely. And the numbers there speak for themselves. More than 70% of kids in the district now back in school full-time. NBC News correspondent Heidi Przybyla joins me now from Charleston. Heidi, those are some pretty impressive numbers. How did Charleston pull this off?
The CDC did not come out with guidelines last year. These schools, they wanted to open, so they formed a partnership with a nearby university. Those pediatric infectious disease experts came up with a handbook with protocols, checklists for every kind of classroom, every kind of grade. So let's just walk through, Ellison, a few of the major takeaways here. First of all, masking and distancing. You kids separated at all times by 6 feet. If not, if they have plexiglass, they can be separated by about 3 feet. The school district here cutting about 60 miles of plexiglass, Ellison, in order to be able to use this in every single classroom. Secondly, really important point that we have been talking about a lot here on NBC, and that is the ventilation issue. Now, this is obviously a newer school here, but we don't want people to be discouraged because the officials here tell me that there are easy things that you can do, even if you are in an older school that needs upgrading. For instance, this is a sock filter. This is a filter that can be retrofitted onto some of the older ventilation systems that we see in schools, Ellison. And then lastly, very importantly here, the school also partnered with the state health department to train up 8 volunteer nurses in contact tracing. The officials here say you cannot underestimate how important that is in terms of getting those rapid tests and taking positive cases, even asymptomatic cases, out of the population early, Ellison.
Heidi, I know you have been covering school districts across the country and the challenges that they are dealing with. I am so impressed with everything you just walked us through there. I know you also spoke with a pediatrician who spent hundreds of hours analyzing data from students and staff in Charleston schools. What evidence is she seeing that this is working besides the sheer number of kids back in the classroom?
Right. So we've got a population of about 50,000 students here. When they came back at about 70% capacity, you're talking about 37,000 students that she looked at. And out of those, from September to December, there was only about 478 positive cases. That's about a 1% rate there. So that is a pretty good number. And yes, Dr. Eckhart has spent a long time crunching these numbers, and she says a lot of times you're able to contact trace these cases back to things and activities taking place outside of the classroom setting when all of these protocols are in place, Ellison.
Heidi, Dr. Fauci says that elementary school kids might not be vaccinated until next year. What are Dr. Eckhart's concerns between now and then?
Complacency. Look, she's worried about parents and even some community leaders, frankly, who are saying, let's just put this behind us. Look at all the vaccinations that we're doing. Let's just drop the protocols in the fall. Take a listen to what she had to tell me yesterday.
We don't know the long-term effects of COVID, even when you have mild symptoms. There are some studies showing blood abnormalities, for example, in children, even with mild symptoms. And we hope that those go away, but we don't have enough data yet to know whether there are some long-term implications of having COVID. We are seeing a record number of children with multisystem inflammatory syndrome, or MISC, or MIS-C, as some people call it, and that is a post-infectious complication of COVID. And it is rare, but right now we are seeing record numbers in South Carolina and 1 death.
So, Ellison, this is why it is all the more important to put these protocols in place, especially with these new, more contagious and potentially more harmful variants spreading, Ellison.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.